Tonight marks another milestone in the career of Harry Porterfield. Just a few minutes ago, he finished his last report for us here as he moves on to the next chapter in an already abundant life. In his typically modest way, Harry asked us not to say much, if anything, about him. This is one very rare time we will disagree with him. After all, Harry truly is someone you should know.
Among the things you may not have known about Harry Porterfield are that he holds a degree in chemistry from Eastern Michigan University and a law degree from DePaul. Fortunately for all of us, he chose to make a career in broadcasting. He began in radio and then television in Saginaw, Michigan.
I became a stagehand for the television side. I ran camera and I set up the stage for Romper Room. I'd come in and I'd do a 10 o'clock news. It was 11 o'clock news in Michigan then.
Then, in the middle 1960s, Chicago called, and Harry joined WBBM television. At one point, Harry was anchoring the Saturday weekend news with a small staff and not much news to cover. So, the producer had an idea.
The producer said, well, you know, we ought to do something through the week that we could hold and save for the times we really need it, and particularly on Saturday we have no news, nothing to put in the show. So let's call it Someone You Should Know. And I thought it was the silliest name I'd ever heard.
Not so silly now. Some 2,000 Someone You Should Knows later, it was the perfect project for a man who always seems to find the good in others. He introduced us to people who were sometimes unusual, but almost always doing something that really does make our world better. With this project alone, Harry Porterfield made television and television news better. But in 1985, Harry's time at WBBM came to an abrupt end. Harry says he left the station, but the impression was that he'd been forced out. As the best-known African-American face then anchoring a Chicago newscast, Harry's departure from the station sparked a boycott against Channel 2. It was an outcry heard across the country.
The first feeling I have is I'm humbled because I was the focus of this thing, even though I wasn't there. You know, I was kind of a phantom in all of this. That boycott, and there was a boycott there at Channel 2. There was a picket line in front of that station for 10 months. Can you believe it? 10 months to bring on changes. I wasn't there. And to think that I guess I was a catalyst for that is really kind of overwhelming. But the impact it has was to create a lot of opportunities around the country. And I guess that's the one thing that I'm proud of that.
But as is his way, Harry never made much of it at the time. He joined Channel 7 and went about his job. Someone You Should Know continued, and Harry went on to tell stories about people who were using their lives to change other lives, as Harry himself had already done for our industry. He received the first Outstanding Journalist Award ever presented by the Chicago Association of Black Journalists, and countless other awards, including 11 Emmys and the prestigious DuPont Columbia Journalism Award. You probably couldn't get Harry to talk about all these awards, but we can get him to talk about his music. He started playing the violin when he was 8 years old and continues to this day. A proud member of the Chicago Federation of Musicians, Harry has played in everything from small groups to symphony orchestras. He plays in the Do-It-Yourself Messiah every year.
Music has always been with me. I remember one of the conductors back home said one time when he was conducting a rehearsal, he says, you know, being involved in music is the most civilizing experience you can have. And I thought about that and said, you know, you're right. You know, it does so much. It's therapeutic and it's civilizing. It does a lot of things. It makes you whole.
If music had any part in making Harry Porterfield whole, we are all grateful for that process. For us, knowing Harry Porterfield has been civilizing, and it is one of the things that makes us whole. And for that, we are all very grateful.
And we just want to say thank you for being a role model, inspiration, a mentor to so many, and for breaking down barriers and opening doors and giving opportunities. We are so thankful for that, and for sharing stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We thank you for that, Harry. We'll miss you.
Harry, you are someone we should know and someone we're happy to have known. Thanks very much. And World News is coming up next.